Hello, hello, hello. Let me know if you can hear me because the signal here is garbage. It's garbage. It's garbage. Child, that's how bad the signal is where I am at today. I'm having to use the hotspot on my phone because this hotel Wi Fi is trash. It is absolutely trash. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you, living for me. Hey, good afternoon, you guys. Happy Throw It on the Table Tuesday. Good afternoon, Lady Rowan chat. Please hit that like button, share, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for letting me know you can hear me. Y'all, please do all the things. All of the things. We just come down here to talk about Belle Collectives. I'm gonna come back a little bit later and talk about Real Housewives of Atlanta. Give you a recap on that, my thoughts, things that I Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. In fact, I have a video. I'm probably gonna play it for you in just a little second. It'll give us some time to burn off a few minutes while we wait for others to join. If they gonna join, maybe they may not even join us. They may not even join. But let me see if it'll pull up. Again, like I said, the Wi-Fi here is garbage. Oh, there you go. Let's see if it'll pull up. I decided to take me a little getaway on my vacation, child. This is where I just left the buffet at the casino. At the casino, I had me a good little lunch down there. Child, I put $5 in the machine. I won eight, and I pulled my little $3 after that I won and put it back in my little wallet and came back up to my room to do this live. But this is where I am right now. I just decided to just give me a quick little getaway. And my husband was like, "Where are you going?" I said, "I'll be back." I need back. I need a break. I need just go somewhere and just clear my mind for a few days. And of course, he was all with, go do what you got to do to make sure that you're taking care of you. So I think, ladies, we have to have those days where we just go somewhere, we just chill, and we just relax. Remember, this week we're going to be rolling out Lady Row After Dark. So I got an opportunity last night, nice and quiet in my hotel room, to think, to brainstorm, to try to figure out some things I want to do to bring out Lady Row After Dark. There may be a little lag because, again, I am on location, and baby, the signal here is garbage. It is garbage. It is garbage, garbage, garbage. Anywho, we're gonna get started with Belle Collective's review, if you don't mind. If you don't mind, please like, share, comment, subscribe, and we're gonna pull out the fair use disclaimer. Some material in this video is used under U.S. Copyright Fair Use Section 107 for purposes such as commentary, criticism, news reporting, and education. Today, we're going to be doing a lot of commentary, a whole lot of criticism. And, Chad, I don't think there's any news to be gotten out of this stuff. All views expressed in this live, they're all alleged. They're in my opinion, and they are all for entertainment purposes. Don't go out your way to dislike anybody. Do you understand me? Don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. All right, let's get on over into the episode. Let me put my banner down so I can remove this. Here we go, here we go, here we go. I'm going to be reading notes off of my phone. So if I'm looking down, that's what it is. The episode opens up with Cliff. He says he planned a night where, a day where he could have a date with the Pearsons. Hey, Symmetry. Okay, you be careful. You be careful while you're driving down that road. He said he planned it. He planned a date night with the Pearsons, and it seemed like he did pretty well. They had a chef, so they are going to looks like a industrial kitchen to cook and have dinner to cook dinner with the chef. Chef, I'm sorry. Letitia said she's glad that she and Glenn get to have a date night out, regardless of who it is with. I said, is this shade, Letitia? Letitia has a tendency to throw a lot of shade, but Chad, this seems like a little shade. Letitia said she is going to be very cautious of being with the Rogers, and can't say that I blame her, but they should be cautious of each other because I don't think they don't mean each other well at all. I believe that their whole thing is meaning harm to each other. It's just my personal opinion. It don't mean nothing to nobody. It's just my personal opinion. Remember, all things are alleged. In my opinion, and all of this is for entertainment purposes. Glenn said they will be good as long as they aren't burning anyone tonight. Don't set nobody on fire. Keep your hands to yourself, and we're gonna have a good time. Is what I took that as. So this place is called Sur La Table, and the chef introduces himself. His name is Chef Sid, and he says the name of the class that they're taking is called Nona's Kitchen. Nona, if you know, is an Italian name for grandmother. They're going to make briccolani, is what he called it. Letitia says she's the cook. She's our cook. And then Glenn says, that's why I married you, girl, because you can cook. Then Latrice says, I do all the cooking in my house. And my husband loves my food. I put, girl, why you lying? Girl, why are you lying to us? We know you can't cook. Your husband done told us that you can't cook. But she tried, y'all. She gave it her best effort with saying that, she can cook. She pulled out, we saw her pull out the expired butter and all that fun stuff because they did a little montage. The chef told Latrice that she would oversee the polenta. And uh, they had to explain to Glenn what polenta is and that it's a grain similar to grits. Baby, because baby, Glenn thought they was talking about placenta. And we know that's neither here nor there. They wasn't talking about either one of those things. They discussed Tamara's event, her bringing out her daughter and introducing her daughter to the group, and how they thought that was a good thing. Um, they talked about, as they moved into the conversation, they talked about Tamara's, the picture she put up of her fibroids. And closer to the end of this episode, we actually get to see a shot of said picture, and it was not a pretty sight. And so they kind of segue into Latrice telling them that she's going to have surgery. And she said, I need to have this surgery. I'm going to have surgery because I want to have a baby. And I said, woo, child. Cliff started talking in tongues when she said, he's like, we already can't understand nothing he said, but he really started speaking in a foreign language when she mentioned about having babies. Um, and Cliff, as he was talking in tongues, Cliff said something about he wanted a baby, but she waited too long. And now he don't want to be getting up all night with no baby. That's what it sounded like he said. I'm telling you, that's what it sounded like he had said. And he said that was about 2 or 3 years ago, that he wanted a baby. But right now, he done changed his mind on the baby situation. Cliff, the yellow dog, don't want no kids now that she's talking about it. I agree. And I really think that women should wait till they're ready. But Latrice tells the reason why she thinks she wants a baby right now. And it all makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense. He wants to stay at that room above the restaurant. Child, I don't know what he wants to do. But I think every person, when they get to a certain age in life, they kind of want to put off, they don't want to keep reproducing. Y'all give me a second. Let me cut this air conditioner on because I am burning up. Give me a second. All right, you guys, I'm back. I'm sorry. It was 77 degrees in here. I don't know what I'm trying to do. This is a disco inferno. Yeah, but I think when people get a certain age in life, they don't want to keep having children. You enjoy your grandchildren, but with your grandchildren, you can pack them up and send them back home. When you have a child of your own, you're responsible for so much more daycare, getting up in the middle of the night, as he says, changing diapers when you don't necessarily want to do all those things. So I really don't blame him for saying, hey, I did 2 or 3 years ago. Now I've aged a little bit longer because 2 or 3 years ago, if you had a baby, um, a child at 3 years old is normally potty trained and is well on their way to kindergarten. Now you starting all over. You're a little bit older in life. Not saying that it makes a lot of difference, but I think 2 or 3 years kind of does make a lot of difference. Did I get lost? I did get lost. Okay. They did. So after, again, Cliff started talking in tongues. Latrice said that the scare with the blood clots made her change her mind about having a child. And they do a montage about 2 years ago when she had taken that the pregnancy test to see if she was pregnant, and the pregnancy test was negative. Cliff said he was disappointed because he did want a baby with Latrice. Latrice said she wants a baby because a child will never leave your side. She wants that unconditional love. Y'all, I want y'all to remember what she said. She wants a baby by her side because a child will give you unconditional love. This is going to mean something later on in this episode. She then tells the Pearsons that Cliff left her at the hospital while she was on her deathbed. Child, we know he didn't leave you in the hospital. He was on your deathbed. He said the doctor said you was just fine, so he got in his car and he drove over to Taste and got drunk and went to sleep. But child, it was selfish of him. We gonna keep it real. But you was not on your deathbed. You was very much alive and you was gonna be fine. You was recovering. Excuse me. Latrice then goes into the confessional and says it is Cliff's fault that she wants a baby right now. It's all his fault that she's now changed her mind and she wants to have a baby because he left her at the hospital, so on and so forth. Latrice said she knows her little baby, little Clifforella, will never leave her. Cliff said if you name her Clifforella, it will leave. Baby, who want a baby named Clifforella? But go ahead with that. Um, Letitia said I'm sorry, Letitia said she's happy for the Rogers. You know, if they want to have a baby, then they should have one. Letitia says there will be a baby if you don't stop doing what you do, Cliff. And Cliff started mumbling again, something about a man changes, and when he don't want it, he takes more. Wait a minute. He said if he don't want it no more, he stopped giving it up. Then he mentioned something about a vasectomy. Glenn said in his confessional, these folks don't want no damn baby. They might they might buy a dog or something, but they don't want no damn baby. That's what Glenn said. And I tend to agree with Cliff. I don't think Latrice even wants a baby. I think that she had a scare. It made her think about life. But when you have a child, it really puts, I don't say weight, but it is a very, very, very thing that you should take very responsibly. I don't even know how to even put that in words. When you have a child, that is a great responsibility. And I think a lot of people, even including myself, when you have children in your early 20s, you don't really think about the responsibility of raising that child until you have the child here. Then you realize, oh, this is a great responsibility. So I think as you mature and you get older, you think about their responsibility and what it takes to raise your child. Because you want to give your child the best of everything that includes you. You want to give them the best you. um Latrice asked Letitia, "How are you in Glendale?" And he said, because Glenn spoke up, he said Letitia rolling up that meat was the first time she's touched meat in a long time. Baby, that's TMI. That's way too much. Then I needed to know. Letitia said when they removed sex from their lives, it gave her more clarity. And then Glenn responded, said it did open up another door to of intimacy with them. He said, but he would like to be in her, is what he said. Child, this when I say this right here was way too much for me. It was way too much for him. It was way too much to listen to. I'm being very, very honest. Glenn then says, um, he clears up his clarity in the bedroom. That's where his clarity comes from, and that's where he would like to continue to clear up his clarity. Latrice says she feels like the Rogers and the Pearsons are in the head Bells. They are the over this group of people. We always knew that Letitia considered herself, in charge of the girls, but Latrice said she feels like herself, along with Letitia, or the couples together, are in charge of the rest of the best. Girl, go on. I put in my quotation, delusional. Girl, move around with that. Cliff said the other Bells copy what they do. Where? Who? Who is copying what the Rogers and the Pearsons doing? Who else is doing that foolishness? Who is doing the things that the Pearsons are doing? Who are doing the things that none of them. Nobody in the collective is doing what these two couples are doing. So I don't think anyone's copying what they do. Baby, when I say delusional, delusional. Latrice then says that she talked to Carrie and told her not to throw her husband under the bus about that whole situation with Mike. But we found out later in the episode that her husband was the one that should have been slammed under the bus because he's the one who told her. He talked too much. Um, Moving right along. They rolled the beautiful beam footage of Carrie showing up at Latrice's taste and bar and grill, and Carrie saying that she put it on the guys because it was easier to put on the guys. But Carrie, don't be no flip flop. We don't want you to be no flip flopper, baby. Stand in your truth because it was Cliff that was out here running his mouth. He was right to throw it on the guys because it was the guys who had actually done it. Now, put out the Cliff is the one who started this mess because he talks too much. Carrie, stand in your truth. If you feel like Cliff was the one who told Matt, then you stand in the fact that Cliff is the one who told Matt. Don't backtrack. Stay on that road. Cliff said that the women are making a mountain out of a molehill, and the women are all Bells, and they would do anything to cause chaos. So next time, he's just gonna keep it to himself. Baby, we want you to keep it to yourself. Don't bring it out here to us. Keep it to yourself because no one really cares at all. Next scene, we go to Brick and Spoon. We see Miss Eleanor coming to see Carrie at Carrie's business. Miss Eleanor orders some tater tots. So apparently the tater tots are good because she kept talking about these tater tots. Carrie said of all the days for her mother to pop up, today is not the day she feels like talking to her mother because she's dealing with some money problems, some really serious things. And she don't really feel like having this conversation with Miss Eleanor today or right now. Kelly and Miss Eleanor go over and they sit at a table to eat because you see Kelly in the kitchen. Baby, she's getting bacon out the drawer and getting some she putting it together for her, Miss Eleanor, to sit down and eat. Miss Eleanor says, you looking like you working hard, baby. She said, you sweating. You better slow down. It's going to make you old before your time. I love Miss Eleanor. She reminds me of those Southern women who talk they talk and walk their walk. I love Miss Eleanor. I think she's a great mother to the show because she's only interested, looks like, in her child and whatever her child has going on. Then Matt walks in, he arrives, and they begin to talk about Brick and Spoon Mobile. Now, although Carrie said she don't want to talk to her mama about money problems or what she got going on, the first thing she does is starts running her mouth about money problems. That's the first thing Carrie does. She tells her mother, if I tell you how much of my influencer money I have had to use to keep Brick and Spoon open. And then she blurts out, 5 figures. Just out of the blue, she just screams out 5 figures. Her mom ain't asked her how much, or maybe they edited it out, but she just blurts out with 5. I thought that was crazy. Brick and Spoon. Anyway, Carrie is a tad bit strange. I don't care what anybody says. She out there. They show a montage of Carrie being a social media influencer with her children and so on and so forth. Miss Eleanor says you're going to have to cut your losses, Carrie. You have to let this go. Carrie says that they don't have a lot of buyers for the Brick and Spoon in Mobile. And the one they thought they had was having problems getting funding for his loan. Matt said, what is your next step, Carrie? Because you've got to make some decisions. Carrie said, we will have to close these doors. We're going to have to close up Brick and Spoon Mobile. She said, but then we'll be left with a bill. Carrie's mom, Miss Eleanor, says, a rent bill is much better than a bill for food and employees. Carrie says, but I have 20 people working for me, and I don't want them to lose their job. I don't want them to be without. But, child, I'm going to tell you this. If you can't make payroll, then what is the difference? If you are robbing Peter to pay Paul and you cannot at one point make payroll, guess what? It's going to give your business a bad name. It's going to give you an even worse name. So, girl, let that place go. Let them people go out, file their unemployment, and go on about their lives because you're holding up progress on both ends. Matt explains that businesses come and go every day, and the debt is going to pile up, and that is going to affect the kids. Carrie then begins to cry. She cried, but she I don't know if they blocked that part out, edited that part out, but we see her like go back into her conversation very, very fast. She says, I'm doing this for the kids. And she asked him, do you think I want 5 jobs? Which I kind of understand because as mothers, a lot of times mothers do a lot more than 5 jobs because you cook, you clean, you bathe, you drop kids off at school, you take them to their activities, baseball, softball, cheerleading practice, basketball practice, anything the kids do, soccer practice. So there's so much involved in being a mom. And I think that Carrie really is just dealing with a whole lot, owning her own business, being an influencer, and being a full time mom. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. And Carrie must have some nannies or something working for her because she does spend a lot of time at her different businesses. But baby, she has her hands full. We're not going to negate that. Um, she then goes into the confessional and says, I want to tell them to mind their business. I said, girl, you started this conversation. So go on and keep this conversation going on with your family, your mama and your husband. Keep telling them. Miss Eleanor tells Matt, we are talking and it's going straight overhead, baby. Um, and so, yeah, baby, Miss Eleanor leans in and she said, Carrie, you got to make a decision today. Baby, she done gave her an ultimatum. Today is the day. Make the decision and let's move on. I really hate this chair because I feel like I'm sitting in the dump. But this is the chair they have at a desk. Isn't that weird? Weird chair. Anyway, the next scene, we see Cliff and Latrice at their home. Latrice calls Cliff into the living area of the home. Latrice says that Cliff is saying he wants the vasectomy as a joke, but it did set well with her, and they have to have a conversation. So we see Cliff coming in, child. He about to start speaking in tongues again. And I'm glad to see Latrice this season kind of standing in her own and talking up for herself. I'm not going to say she's never talked up for herself, but when it came to Cliff, she kind of seemed like she dumbed down for him or she didn't express herself very well, but she did very good in this scene. Um, Latrice says that, she's been on TikTok. TikTok is the new Google and they're gonna do a couples exercise. So they sit down and they face each other, which I thought was a little cute scene. And she asked Cliff, "How do you feel about me going to have surgery?" And Cliff says he thinks she needs to have the surgery, especially after he saw Tamara's photos. He really felt like she needs to go ahead and have those fibroids removed. Then they discuss what she does at their business. Cliff really, really, really downplayed her contributions to the business. He says, all you do is type on a typewriter all day. And I thought that was really selfish. Hey, Gail France, thanks for joining. I really thought that was horrible that he downplayed what she contributes to the business. But I'm gonna tell you this: if you are married, or you have a husband, or you have a loved one who is a male, of the male gender, a lot of times men will downplay what you do. And I'm not trying to be funny; I'm being very serious, baby. If you have a husband, I'm sure you've listened to him say, girl, all you got to do is put them clothes in that dryer. That's all you do all day. Wash dishes. If I go to work, I work hard. I be sweating. But they don't take into consideration how hard it is to maintain a home or to work outside the home. Child, when my husband gets sick, you might as well shut the whole house got to stop. But if I get sick, I'm still expected to wash, cook, clean, and go to my job. I'm telling you, if you have a husband, you've dealt with this. And I said in my notes, this is not fair to Latrice, and I don't like it. I do not like it. I felt like he was doing the wrong thing by saying, that all she did was tap on the computer. What you do is you can sit there and type on the computer, but she has to be the brains behind the operation. It just goes a lot that goes into it. And I put in quotations, like most men, they feel like they do all the hard work, but they forget there has to be brains behind that muscle. Someone has to think. Someone has to make sure they're making decisions. And she tells us that, she has to go before the city. She has to put in all the paperwork, order all the food, make sure the payroll is getting there. She did a list and a montage of what all she does to contribute to their business. And Cliff act like he didn't hear it. Cliff has reduced her role to being a computer on a computer pushing buttons all day. That's what he's reduced her role to in their business. And I don't like it. Cliff says he's been running businesses for over 30 years and that he has 8 to 9 businesses that he owns. And he said what he does, he's good at it. But we also know that Cliff doesn't speak plain English. Like he speaks English, but it's very broken and it's mumbled. So someone has to be able to interpret for Clifton. So, Chad, we're not gonna do all that. Cliff says he wants her to concentrate on her health, and business will always be there. So he's telling her, worry about you. We're not gonna worry about these businesses. They'll be okay. Latrice says that she does everything, and she does a rundown of everything she does for the business. Latrice tells Cliff that she didn't like him leaving her at that hospital on their birthdays. So I don't know if their birthdays are the same day, but that's what it sounds like. And then she said, and their anniversary. So maybe their birthdays and their anniversaries are both on the same day. Cliff starts making excuses. Oh, I had to do this and I had to go to taste and you sit me down there. And she said, but when I looked on the camera, you were there getting drunk. And I put, girl, maybe Cliff likes to drink. Maybe that's just what he does. Latrice said she would never forgive Cliff for that. Cliff isn't really taking Latrice serious at all, baby. He is laughing her off. The whole time they looking at each other, they over there giggling. I mean, when I say giggling, he's giggling. Cliff says it wasn't a big deal. And he said I don't read a crystal ball every day, so I don't know what you be thinking. I don't even know what's on your mind. Exactly what Cliff said. Cliff said, men of America, you aren't going to win, so just give it up. Latrice asked Cliff, how do you think I show love to you? Baby, this right here was cracking. This was funny to me. How do you think I show love to you? And Cliff replies with, you provide, you show care, and you are there in a time of need. Baby, that sounds like a rehearsed read if I ain't never heard one in my life. Sound like she told him what to say. They probably cut scene and redid that scene until he got it right. Because I guarantee that don't even sound plausible at all. Latrice says the one thing she loves about Cliff is that he loves her unconditionally. Girl, you just said he left you at the hospital and that's why you want the baby. Because a baby would love you. Girl, make up your mind. Do you want a baby so the baby can love you unconditionally? Because Cliff left you at the hospital and he's the reason why you want a baby? Chad, these people crazy. I don't think that Latrice listens to what she says. She said she wanted a baby because they show you unconditional love. And Cliff left her in the hospital, and this is why she told us that she wanted a baby. Baby, this is why Cliff told her she would get over it. Because he did. He told her, you'll get over it. Cliff said in the future, whatever he wants to do, he will just do the opposite. And Latrice looks at him and says, opposites attract. Girl. Anyway, the next thing, we see Selena's back in town, and she goes over to Tamara's job to check in after having her teeth done in Colombia. Selena tells us that her blood pressure went up during her procedure at the dentist office in Colombia. Tamara asked Selena if she had mentioned to the dentist that she had high blood pressure. And Selena says, I didn't think I had to mention that. She said, I don't take no pills or nothing like that. So I was just getting my teeth done. I didn't think I had to mention it. People, please give all of your healthcare providers, dentist, eye doctor, anybody who provides healthcare to you, your prior diagnoses before your appointment. Anything that you had before you go see said doctor, said ophthalmologist, said dentist, tell them this is what I have going on with me: anemia, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, hyperlipidemia, whatever you have going on. Make sure they know that. Hey, said baby doll, you cannot go see these docs and not let them know what is going on with your body because it could be detrimental to your health. I cannot tell you how many people I know went in for general dental routine appointments and ended up in a body bag. I'm just being very honest. I have a friend who passed away on last year, went to the dentist for a routine cleaning. They gave him anesthesia because it was something going on in the back of his mouth. And guess what? He's 6 foot under today. Family devastated. He goes to the dentist for routine cleaning and does not come out alive. It is important that you let your healthcare providers know, that means across the board, what you have going on. If you don't have something going on, that's one thing. But if you know you have high blood pressure, you know you're a diabetic, if you know you have hyperlipidemia, if you know you have cardiovascular disease, these are things you need to be telling your provider, because the last thing you want to do is not make it home to your family just from going to the dentist to get routine cleaning. Just letting you know. Just letting you know. Sam Baby Daughter, speaking to you guys. Um, Selena said it was the anesthesia that was causing her blood pressure to go up. And believe it or not, a lot of people react to anesthesia. That is why it's important to have, when you're being put under, to have an anesthesiologist on right above, right here next to you. And I will tell you this, most dentist offices do not have an anesthesiologist. They have a dentist who is providing you with general anesthesia or local anesthesia, and they're not equipped with nothing but that and a crash cart. I'm being very, very honest. That's why it's important that you let doctors know and dentists know, ophthalmologists know what your diagnoses are. Anyway, get off my soapbox and move on. Selena said this was a wake up call for her because she said she wants to see Sanjay have children. Um, Tamara says that is a lot to go through for some new teeth. I agree. That's a lot to go through for some new teeth. Please just make sure that you're taking care of yourself and do what you need to do. Now, if you got high blood pressure, I want to know why you're not on medications. Maybe she lost weight, got off the pills, but if you have a diagnosis of hypertension, it could come back at any time. That's why you have to stay keeping up with it. If you get a headache and you were off pills, check your blood pressure that day. It may just be one day your blood pressure goes up. You may have eaten the wrong thing for that day. And, blood pressure normally is controlled through diet and exercise. Again, I need to get off my soapbox and move back over here. Chairman said, if you want some, oh, I'm sorry. They talk about the museum. They talk about the museum of Tamara and all the things that happened while Selena was away. They also talk about, the fact that Tamara felt like she was being transparent. And Tamara said, if you want some transparency, everybody needs to be transparent. And I totally agree to this to an extent. So let's talk about that. They want Tamara to be transparent. And we've seen Marie come down here and be transparent. We've seen Tamara really has not. We learned more about Tamara last week than we've known about her previously. Selena's been pretty transparent up to a point. We've only seen her. This is her second season in, I believe, or is this her first season? This is her second season in. No, this is her first season, I believe. This is her first season because last year we had So Gucci and Akeisha. So we have Marie, Tamara, who's haven't showed us much, and then Letitia, who done put her entire marriage on the cross to die for the sins of Belle Collective, baby. She is out here sacrificing her marriage for this entire collective, and I don't think it's worth it. And I don't think Letitia even realizes that. Latrice has showed us what she's doing in business. We've seen Latrice kind of mature, but we still see that messy side of Latrice. We also have seen her be consistent with her life and what's going on with her and Cliff. But I will tell you this about Latrice. Latrice got a little lying problem too. But I really believe that we've seen a lot more transparency than we've seen from Tamara. So I appreciate Tamara doing this. So Tamara, we're not going to let you slide. What you over here talking about, everybody needs to be transparent because, baby, you ain't been giving us any of that. The collective talk after, she said the collective got together after the Museum of Tamara, and they had a conversation. And she said they talked about how they should move forward together as a group and how they should handle rumors in the future. They talked about the people on the outside that bring things to the group and how they should handle that. And I put in quotations, they're talking essentially about Shantae. How do you move forward when there are different rumors and who continues to how do you move? They talk about how do you move forward when there are different rumors coming to the group, and how do you continuously bring rumors to your friends? If you say that those are your friends, how do you continuously? I'm not, let's say me and living for me, we are good friends. If I know something is gonna hurt living for me, I'm not gonna just come down here and run and tell her, girl, I had this rumor that your husband over there with 16 babies with the lady around the corner. I'm not gonna tell you that because no one is not my place. Now, if you come to me and you say that, I'm gonna say, well, girl, I heard that. I heard that, but I didn't tell you because it wasn't my place, and I don't ever want to hurt you. It's a way you can address every situation. I'm one of them kind of people that I believe that you should address things head on, but I think you should also use some common knowledge and some common sense. But a lot of people don't, they don't possess those common things. So we're gonna move right along. Um, Tamara said she's never heard so many rumors until she joined this friend group they call the Collective. Maybe I added that part to it. But she said she had never heard this many rumors about herself until she joined this girls group. Next, we see the guys meeting up on Cliff's property. Cliff looked like he has started to erect the building, but around the building he's put tarp all the way around it. And apparently it was super, super cold. Excuse me. So the guys, they meet up at his property. Cliff has a fireplace burning. Looks like he's trying to warm it up. And he says that this is going to be his man cave. He tell them, that he's going to put sides on it or whatever. But Matt ain't trying to hear none of that. Matt said he wasn't expecting a cold tarp tent, and he was freezing. He said it is freezing in here. Baby, Matt is a city slicker. You got him in the country out there doing country things, and that's not what he do. See, I bet you Cliff is one of them guys that go out to the woods, unalive deers, drag the deers back up there with his homeboys, get some beers. They sit around the fireplace, talk about how many antlers the deers had, how many hogs they done unalive. That's what they do. And that's what that little outhouse that they was in up on that tent was about. I guarantee you that old country boy, man, ain't that country. He a little city slicker. Anyway, we see Glenn come in with a diaper bag, with a teddy bear, some diapers in the diaper. I thought that was kind of weird. I don't know if anybody else thought it was kind of weird, but it was kind of weird to me. He does look like that he don't. Maybe Matt don't look like he get his hands dirty too much at all. At all. Glenn comes in with his diaper bag and the teddy bear. Glenn says he needs Mike looks at it and he says, I'm gonna need some liquor for that bag. Because he asks, is that for me? And he's like, yeah, man, yeah, man. He said, oh, I'm gonna need some liquor for that bag. That Glenn has. Mike said, if that was for real, I would be crying just like you was, boy. When he said, boy, baby, I was giggle, giggle, giggle. Um, Mike, Mike said the thing was he hit Glenn so hard. I don't even think Glenn realized he was being shaded, and he didn't even know how to respond. He didn't even know how to respond. That was hilarious. But he was like, "Baby, if that joke was true, if it was true, baby, I'd be boohooing just like you was, boy." He's addressing Glenn. Glenn quickly says, oh, Lord. Glenn quickly says, it's a joke. Mike said, I know. That was a joke too. See? Hee hee, ha ha. That was too funny to me. That was a joke too. Remember? See? Hee hee, ha ha. Baby, this is the most we've ever seen Mike talk. And when I tell you Mike is comedic relief, please keep Mike on the show. Please, because baby, Mike was down there. He was serving. He was serving Glenn. We need somebody to serve Glenn that can speak plainly. I think Mike and Matt, I believe they got Glenn number, baby, and they ready for him. Anywho, Glenn said he just wanted to have a little light fun. Mike talks about Selena being worried about the baby rumor. He said, I don't even care. He said, but she cares. And she wants to know who brought this rumor to the group. Mike said he feels like that Cliff did. And babe, when I tell you Mike he didn't skate around it. He didn't skirt around. He went straight to the point. He said, I feel like Cliff did. And so Cliff said he told, they asked around, and Cliff was like, well, I was just talking. I heard this because they go back to the picture. There's three people in the picture. Whoever responded said three creeps, one expecting a baby. By process of elimination, Cliff eliminated himself, and then he eliminated Glenn and left Mike in the picture. Left, make it act like it was Mike. So in actuality, Cliff is the one who started the rumor. At least that's what I took from it. And so he said, Cliff, they asked Cliff, who did you tell? And he said, I told my wife. He said, there we have it. He said, these women walking around here trying to find out who did this, trying to solve this. I done solved it in 3 seconds. It was Cliff. It was Cliff who did it, and his fault. Cliff over there in the confessional mumbling. Child, Cliff, you did it. Now shut your mouth. Mike said, now that we know who did it, we can all be happy. Wait till I tell Selena this. I know that's right. I know that's right. Mike said that when they were in Colombia, that the dentist asked Selena if she had any diseases. And Selena thought he meant like, HIV or, STDs pretty much is what he was thinking. She didn't think diagnosis. She just thought diseases. What is a disease? You think of a disease as something that you would need an antibiotic to cure, right? They mean diseases means diagnosis. Anything that you have in your medical history that is diagnosable, that is a disease. But a lot of people don't think that way, and it's understandable. They probably should have said any prior diagnoses. And Mike said she didn't have her medicine with her because she don't take it. Mike said Selena almost came back looking like an alligator, baby. That was hilarious to me. He said it was almost over with. I said, Mike is funny as hell. They need to keep Mike on the show because he is hilarious. Mike said it was kind of scary. Cliff started mumbling again about this cooking class. Child, when I say mumbling, he was mumbling. Matt looked over at the camera and said, baby, he needs the subtitles. He needs them. Matt said that all of the people sitting there were guilty of flirting most of the time because they were talking about how men flirt with other women and women flirt sometimes with other men. And they don't do it sometimes consciously, but self-consciously. And I will tell you this, last night, me and my niece, because she came up here with me, and we were walking through the casino, and child, when I tell you the men were like, hey. And then I left. And when it got me something to eat, came back to the room. And my niece said all night long while she was gambling, people was like, oh, you smell good. Oh, you smell good. Men flirt probably more than women. Women mostly flirt silently with our eyes, or someone sparks up a conversation, we'll talk back. Most women aren't out here sparking up a conversation with the men. It happens normally the other way, but it does happen sometimes. Like I said, unconsciously, not realizing, hey, we out here flirting. We out here flirting. Oh, once she sees that, she gets him together. Me too. Me too, honey. Me too. Me too. Um, so then Cliff says that he told Glenn to quit smiling all the time. Stop smiling at these women. So I guess he's supposed to walk around with a frown on his face. He said, I need you to walk around mean mugging people. At least I think that's what he said. Cliff said that Glenn has to change his ways if he wants to keep his wife happy. Glenn says that they should plan a trip to Colombia, and then we go over to the next thing. I didn't go into little bitty intricate details of this episode. I got what I thought was important out of it, and I still got a lot of stuff out of it. But I think one thing that I took away from this, Cliff telling Glenn to change his ways, but is Cliff going to change his ways? As we see, Cliff has not even made his wife happy with the very fact that he himself she was having surgery, was in the hospital, and he decided that he would go get drunk at Taste Bar and Grill. Moving right along. Next, we see Stormy meet up with Latrice at Taste Bar and Grill. And Latrice said that she and Stormy have been friends for 10 or 12 years. Stormy did hair. Latrice said she sold hair, and they linked up from there. And I really love the montage that they showed of the women meeting, talking, laughing, or the pictures rather. I really enjoyed that. Stormy, um, Latrice says that Stormy helped her when no one else would. And we all know that Stormy is one of those people that we've heard over and over that she is that friend that does help. She is that friend that will be there in the time of need. We know what she did for Kiki Jabbar. We know that she actually took care of her final arrangements. That is the type of friend that you want on your side, believe it or not. And I really appreciate that about Stormy. Latrice gives us a rundown on Stormy's accolades about what she's done, that she's a TikTok influencer and that she's the highest selling person on TikTok and so on and so forth. Stormy said she was in Jackson visiting her mom because she's building Miss Betty a house. Latrice talks about the condos they have above Taste Bar and Grill and how that they've been having troubles with the residents of the area, that they keep calling the police, that they can't get it zoned so that they can rent them out. All of the things that is causing them to have obstacles um, to be getting, those condos rented out. And Stormy whispers, "Is this a white neighborhood?" And Latrice explains that they have a lot of pushback from the residents. She said the only thing she could come up with was that they are racist because, excuse me, it plays a big part in this issue. Stormy says she gets it there in the South, because in the South seems like the rules are sometimes a little bit different, or you have to really prove who you are. So I really understood where Stormy was going with this. She said, "I get that we're in the South, but we should be farther removed from what is going on right now." Stormy says that she learned that she wasn't supposed to be the face of the top seller of TikTok. And when she said that, that really like honed in on how far we've come, but how far we really have not advanced. Um, she said it should have been celebrated more. And I totally agree with Stormy. I believe the very fact that a lot of people glanced over it, or you had a group of people who, for some reason, because of a television show, did not say, "Hey, here's an African American woman or a Black woman who's moving forward in a positive way out here, and we shouldn't be hating on her, but we should be celebrating her." And they still didn't do that. So I definitely understand exactly where Stormy was going with that. I celebrate Stormy and I pray to God that others do, because we want to accomplish more in this lifetime. We got 400 years that we are behind, that we have to catch up on. So we want to see the Black woman, the Black man win. Trust me. Um, Latrice tells us that she aspires to be like Stormy. She said that she looks up to Stormy and she appreciates everything Stormy brings to the table. Latrice also tells Stormy that she's going to have to postpone her fibroid surgery. And when she said that, Stormy looked at her and she was like, "Is that something you can put off just like that? You can just put that off like that?" And Latrice pretty much tells Stormy that no, my doctor said I need to have it. She said, but it's not going to kill me. It's not going to take my life. She said, but I need to get clipped and trained so he can run Taste the Bar and Grill and be able to operate it. And if, when Stormy came in, you saw her sitting at the table with her laptop, and Cliff was sitting right there. So I don't know if she was trying to show him the way it operates so that he could be able to maintain it. And she talks about how painful her first fibroid surgery was. I will tell you this, I never had fibroid surgery. Never had it. I dealt with fibroids, but I never had surgery because when I decided I wanted to get rid of fibroids, I took the whole thing out. I took out the kitchen. So I had a whole different way of doing it. Whereas she said it was very painful. So I don't know if she's expected not to be able to move, to be sore. I'm not really sure what Latrice is expecting, but she's expecting to be down and not be able to tap on the keyboard at all. So I think that's where she is. She said, "A lip for me says, snatch it out. LOL, me too." That's what I closed the kitchen. I literally, as me and my doctor said in 2016, we closed the kitchen. We just, those fibroids was really taking me. When I say they were taking me out, They were literally taking me out. I was literally losing blood with fibroids. That's how bad they were. So, ladies, take care of your health for sure. Um, Stormy said, without any uncertain terms to Latrice, she said, you cannot put that off. She said, when I said her voice changed, her tone changed, she said, you can't put that out, baby. You got to get that done. Latrice says that she has to train Cliff. And I put, ma'am, if you don't have to train him, but you go on ahead. You need to concentrate on your body and getting rid of whatever that is. Because you know what? Father time is ticking, and you say you want a baby, which I call cap on that, but you say you want a baby. You say you want a baby, and you see the issue, and you know what you're dealing with, and you already have blood clots. I believe you need to work on taking care of Latrice. They talk about the Stormy and the Lala Anthony collaboration and how Lala created her own fragrance. And I believe this was a great segue over into Belle Collective's Birmingham. I did review Belle Collective Birmingham on Friday night when it came on. I will probably do a recap later on. My next live today will probably be Married to Medicine. Will be Real Housewives of Atlanta. I'm not sure when I will get that done because I'm gonna go on back down here to the casino because I want a big whopping 65 cents. I want a big whopping 65 cents. So I'm gonna go down here and put it in the machine. I'm just joking. I'm not gonna put that 65 cents in the machine. I don't know what I'll probably give it to somebody if anything. But I'm gonna hang out for a few minutes. I'm gonna review, go back over my notes and see if it's ready. But I think Real Housewives of Atlanta gave us a good premiere. Great kickoff, great segue into what I believe is going to be a great season. Um, um, I'm gonna say this. I'm kind of disappointed in Shamia. Kind of disappointed in Kelly. I really am. I'm glad to see K Michelle on the screen. I'm a K Michelle fan, both musically. I love her music. I think K Michelle is far better a singer than anybody really knows. I love the very fact that K Michelle cleared the room when she said, ain't no SWB sitting at this table, baby. Because clearly one of them has a plethora of albums where the other two have a few. And one of them's a really good singer. A really, really good singer. You said memories. I'll be at the casino in 30 days, girl. It ain't nothing. It ain't all that. It ain't all that. It's just somewhere to come hang out at. Because I'm not a gambler. I'm not a gambler. But we're gonna talk about Real Housewives of Atlanta. We're gonna talk about Portia and the very fact that she can't seem to be alone. She got to have a man. Portia, you can be a woman. It's okay to be alone, Portia. It's okay to live this life and be free without having to have someone connected to you. I think sometimes we have to really understand each other. And maybe her and Sway are a better fit than her and just these random men that she gravitates to. I don't know, but we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about it. I think that Kelly's gonna have to learn that she's gonna have to stand on her own 2 feet and swing high and a little bit low because I think Pinky gonna take her spot with Shamia. I don't know. I'm just saying. I believe Pinky might be coming in to take over her friends group circle with Shamia. Shamia Morton. I'm sorry, I don't know what I said. Shamia Moore, but Shamia Morton. Pinky, we didn't really get a lot on her, so hopefully, this next episode we'll see something about Pinky and what she got going on and the things because we need to see something about Pinky. Um, and her accolades, her building, her company, how she lost it, how she regained it, what her life looks like. Um, I will say this just by um, what we see. I think Pinky's husband may be a little issue, but hey, we're gonna keep our eye on the show. I'm gonna review it, make sure my notes are tight, get down here and we're gonna talk about it because Real Housewives of Atlanta, I believe they're getting ready to give us a show. Now we know. Now I'm gonna tell you some the people I like. I used to be a diehard Portia fan. I did. I was. You couldn't say nothing bad about Portia. I would get my feelings about her, and I still like Portia. I'm a little disappointed in Portia, just based on the fact that I felt like she kind of breaks girl code a little bit. But I still, again, I like her. She ain't at the top no more. She been reduced. Now I like Phaedra. I don't care what nobody say. Nobody gonna make me dislike Phaedra. Y'all can call her fake, phony, whatever, whatever. Phaedra created the formula to continue to live a fabulous life. Phaedra Parks Esquire. We're not gonna ever let y'all reduce this lady's accolades down to nothing. We're not gonna do that. So I like Phaedra. I will say she ain't at the top of the list, but I do like Phaedra Parks. I do. I didn't. I like the fact that we watched Aiden and Mr. President grow up on this TV show. I love Phaedra's boys. I think they're such handsome little boys, and they are seem like they're well mannered. So we're gonna get into those things. I also like. I don't know about Kelly. I used to go up for Drew, but Drew been acting a little weird. She been acting a little weird. So I don't know. I'm putting Drew on down on the bottom of the list. Drew, you down there with Shamia. Y'all at the bottom of the list where y'all can fight it out together. Because I feel like Drew got a lot going on. As we know, on this past weekend, Drew's on Friday, I believe, Drew went to court with her ex-husband or her husband, what divorce court. They're in the middle of their mess. Um, and Drew lost physical custody of her children. She still has legal custody, but not physical custody. The judge awarded physical custody to her husband, Ralph. Drew she has an older son. So Drew actually told the courts that if Ralph has physical custody and she has to leave the home because she was ordered to leave the marital home by May 30th, then she and her older son would be homeless. Um, I'm not going to tell you this is a bad thing for Drew. It's not. Reason why I'm not going to say it's a bad thing because we don't know what the final outcome will be. I believe Drew probably told the courts that she could not afford the house. And so what the courts did was leave the house is in Ralph's name only, although Georgia, I believe, is a community property state. Um, I believe that they left the house, left Ralph in the house. So because Ralph could afford the house, Drew probably can afford an apartment a lot cheaper. Now she may have to downgrade and move over to, back to the hood, back to Buckhead. She may have to move to the inner city. I'm not sure, but I believe Drew will be okay. I did read where it looks like Drew, at least in the court papers, where Drew was on some type of unemployment insurance during the hiatus of Real Housewives of Atlanta. So y'all screaming out that Drew got the money, it just ain't a fact. It's not. Ralph is a Fortune 500 executive. Ralph has money. You just ain't seen it. Ralph got some money. He ain't taking Drew money. Ralph got his money. That's why Ralph was able to get a house without Drew being present. He was able to get a house without showing Drew's income. I'm gonna tell you, that's how life works. Whoever got the income and the money can get the house and the credit. That's how it works. That's how life works. So we're gonna have to stop with these rumors that we create based on our feelings because feelings don't make truths. Okay. Living for Me said, I was until the candy mess. Um, Live for Me, I want you to elaborate on that because I'm gonna tell you something about the candy mess that I think. Because I'm a realist. Now I don't agree with the myth being put out there. I don't agree with the lies that was told. I don't agree with any of that. I don't agree with it. I'm gonna tell you this though. All parties involved knew that it was a lie. They knew it was a lie from the moment it was told, right? So Phaedra, who they said told the lie, who she said she got from she allegedly from Carlos King. She said that's where she got it from. We knew that it was a lie, right? Phaedra knew it was a lie. Okay. The person who said the story to Candy knew that it was a lie. Portia. Portia who said it knew that it was a lie. Candy, who the lie was told on, knew that it was a lie. So how does a rumor become something that was done? Until y'all can explain it to me, I don't know. A rumor is just that, a rumor. How do rumors get started? They start by jealous people, and that's how it works on. I saw something today that said they both make less than $12,000 a month. I don't know. I didn't see that today. I did see where she was drawing unemployment. I haven't looked again. I've been at the casino. Don't tell me nothing. Don't tell you nothing about what. Oh, what we talking about, girl? What I do now? What I do now? You said I'm gonna act like butterfly. I'm gonna please do because I want to see it again. I haven't had a chance to look at anything. But I would say that we got to stop acting on feelings. We don't want to act like these men. Oh, these men don't have no money, baby. It's a men out here moving and shaking in the publications. Ralph, apparently, we know he got the house while Drew was gone out of town. She wasn't able to pick the house out. He picked the house out and moved the family in. So it looks like Ralph has been making all of these moves without Drew. Because I'm gonna tell you this: if you're going to be on the house, I'm gonna need your signature. If you're going to be on the house, I'm gonna need your income. That's how that works. To qualify for a house with two people as a signer, you need both people's income. That's just how it works. About the Candy and Portia mess, I should have never made it. It should have. It should have never made it to Me TV. Okay, I understand what you mean. It should never made it to TV. If it was a lie, that almost ruined. Girl ain't ruined nobody. Whose character did it ruin? This is the same person who had been known for having threesomes. So how would it ruin anything? It wouldn't have ruined anything. We know that Candy don't dipple and dabble in drugs. It was all a lie. You cannot make a lie the truth. I don't care how anybody want to frame it, size it up. It was a lie, and everybody involved knew it was a lie. We even knew it was a lie. What did Portia say down when they was down there to the lunch table, whatever restaurant they was in? And I heard that you and Ty wanted to smug me up and drag me and have a threesome with me. That's what was said. I heard being a rumor that you wanted to mean it wasn't done. It was never done. So Portia knew it never happened. Candy knew that it never was gonna happen. So it was all a lie. It was all a dream. I used to read Word Up magazine. Wait a minute. You said right. That's my point. The smugs, right? But it that part. But she knew. Candy knew it never happened. No one even took what Portia said as a fact that it did happen. No one ever did. Now I'm gonna tell you. When all that stuff started coming out about T.I. and Tiny and them supposedly doing what they was doing, then people start saying that, okay, maybe the stuff about Candy was true because they have such a tight-knit relationship. I don't know. But I will say this. All parties involved knew that it had never happened. You cannot make the truth out of something that never happened. you cannot. You cannot make the truth out of a rumor. You just can't. That's just how I feel about it. So that never changed my attitude towards Portia. In fact, it pissed me off the way people were treating her because we all knew that it was a lie. Everybody involved knew it was a lie. Even when she told it on stage, even when Candy up there cried, it was still a lie. It was still a lie. It wasn't gonna ruin nothing because Candy works for herself. So who did it ruin it with? If that stuff with Jermaine Dupri didn't ruin her life, that definitely was not. It was not. The rumor about you sleeping with Jermaine Dupri, what did it ruin? So a rumor about you supposedly wanting, not doing it, but just wanting to do it. Girl, I just can't. I can't. You said you get on my nerves, B. Yeah, that's just how I feel about it. Again, like I said, Phaedra is she. I like Phaedra. I'm gonna tell you something. I used to be a big freaking frat fan, but I would tell you this: if you notice, you say I got my AC on. I got my AC now. I'm cutting up, girl. I know that's right. And nothing like having your air back when it's been taken away from you. Again, when I talk about the Phaedra situation, I didn't like this situation. I'm be very clear about that. I didn't like it. I didn't like the fact that they decided to put out a rumor. I didn't like the fact that she thought she could tell Portia, and Portia would not talk about it, and Portia did not have enough, gumption about it or common sense other than to come out here and run her mouth, because she should have just kept that rumor to herself. She decided to come out here and blast it out. Because from my understanding, these people on reality TV, they get a lot of rumors brought to them. If you acted on every rumor, then what do you do with that? Some stuff you got to keep in the reservoir, or you got to keep it in the safe deposit box to use at a later date. And I see that if you put everything on the table, you don't have nothing for a later date. And I think that's sometimes what these women do out here on these reality shows. Is there anybody else on there that's old? Nah. Kenya Moore, I was never a Kenya Moore fan. I liked Kenya, but I liked her after she had the baby. Before the baby, yeah, I don't know. Her attitude was too nasty for me. It was super, super nasty. And of course, we know that Apollo lied on her, which that story kind of gets convoluted because I'm trying to figure out what he lied about, because we did see him carrying her through the pool, and we did see them flirting with each other. So I'm not sure about what timing of the lies, because maybe we saw some stuff you did that was out of order. So I really am happy for the Housewives of Atlanta to be back. That's another one of my shows. Know I'm a Married to Medicine and a RHOA girl. I love those two shows, probably more than any of the own shows. Those are my girls. So I will be coming back later on, like I said, with a little bit of a rundown of this past week's premiere and what I enjoyed, what caught my eye, what came to my attention now. We're going to talk about Shamir and that mullet that she had on her head. That mullet, it got to go. Baby, you was bold to come out here with that mullet on your head. We're going to talk about the fact that K. Michelle brought some comedic relief, baby, because I think K. Michelle is what this group needs to really shake up the cast. I hear a lot of people that, talk, oh, she's going to be ghetto and she's bringing. K. Michelle has a lot of accolades, and I really believe K. Michelle should have never been on Love and Hip Hop at, Atlanta. I believe she really should have been on Real Housewives of Atlanta to begin with. I don't think she should have ever went that way, because those women scarred her. They did, baby. She had to shake the table, and she had to get up in Rashida's grill. Rashida got bags. Her husband's a girl. Baby. Yes, ma'am. So, I think that they really did scar K. Michelle, and K. Michelle's the Pisces, baby. She's not letting it go. Whatever Rashida did, she's holding on to it. Rashida took what somebody else told her, and she held on to it, tried to destroy K. Michelle's character with said information, tried to make her out to be a lie until it happened to Rashida's friend. Then all of a sudden it become the truth. Girl, shut up. You said I'm hollering. Girl, there was a sad baby doll. There was a mullet. That was her. I'm like, what is wrong with her? She's really bold for coming in here with this mullet. Did y'all see how she wasted that alcohol on the floor? Girl, alcohol abuse in the third degree. Just walking and wasting alcohol on that lady's clean, pearly white porcelain marble floors, honey. Just a mess. Yes, about the DV. Until it happened to said girl, until she came out here and was like, he beat me, allegedly. He was fighting me, allegedly. Same thing that K. Michelle said. And now K. Michelle get the last laugh because she was like, I told you that. I told you what happened. You didn't believe. You got on this TV and said that this man had not done any of those things to me when I told you that he did. And now it done happened to your girl. He should have smashed her face into the wall, allegedly. That's what K. Michelle was saying. That's pretty much what she was saying. He should have beat her down because I told you that that's what he did. But you didn't believe me until he did it to your friend. You said Rashida's stepdaughter. What about her stepdaughter? I don't know what you're talking. Oh, I got you. K. Michelle told the truth about Toya in Memphis. She did. She told her. But Toya, as long as she could, allegedly, Kept saying it didn't happen. He never hit you. He said he never hit you until he lifted his hands up and hit Toya, allegedly. Now we have a whole issue when all you had to do was believe. That's why I said girls who are girls, they're dangerous. They're dangerous. I'm sorry, y'all are dangerous. Mm-mm. He was defending abusive. You mean Rashida? Yeah, Rashida was but she was always doing that. Rashida, number one, she stuck her nose into business she had no business in. But Kay took her to task. One thing she didn't do on Love and Marriage, I'm sorry, Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, she took her to task. She was not gonna let you play with her name. So much and so that she was like, let me get up out of here. I got too much to lose. And because those women were really gonna cause Kay to lose everything. Remember, she went and got an anger therapist because they was just pushing her so much. It became almost like a gang up on her. So yeah, yeah, no, ma'am. No, no, no. So we're gonna talk about K Michelle. We're gonna talk about why I like K Michelle. I love her music. I love her songs. I believe K Michelle has a right to get on here and talk her junk. We're gonna also talk about the very fact that she did that interview with Jason Lee. If you have not seen that interview with Jason Lee, I think it's on BET Black. I'll find out before I come back. You said I meant to say that he was definitely an abuser, not defending one type of. Okay, that's okay. I kind of figured that you were saying that he was definitely an abuser. Definitely. But Rashida tried to defend him. Oh, no, he never did that to you. He said it never happened. He said it never happened until it happened. That's how things that you know how friends will be like, oh, I fly spirit all the time, and nothing's ever happened. Guess what? Nothing ever happens until it happens. And then you got an issue, right? Okay, that's how that works. That's how it all works. You never have an issue until you have an issue. Um, when it when it comes again, we're gonna talk about the Jason Lee interview, the things that K Michelle said in the Jason Lee interview. I think I'll kind of intertwine that with my Married to Medicine later on, because she said in the Jason Lee interview that but she talks about her husband, how she met her husband, how she got him to marry her. Baby, she did some twisting and some shaking to get him to marry her. I may make that a step. That may be part of. We'll do Lady Roll after dark. Um, we'll do a little bit tonight, maybe. So maybe I'll do my Marriage to Medicine and then come back and do a little bit of the K Michelle on Lady Row After Dark. 'Cause Lady Row After Dark is just going to be us talking about whatever I find on my head to talk about, child. Things that just be running through my head, which be a lot. Be a lot. You said Rashida always misses the mark. She's married to that clown, allegedly married to with all the earrings. How many earrings he got in his ear? Living for me? Is it four? Rashida got bags. Her husband's a girl. Her career is over all over the world. Bag lady. Baby, I love that. I've been waiting on that. Okay, we're gonna talk about it. Oh, he got three earrings. That's what I knew it was. I thought it was four. You said three earrings in each ear. Baby, Kurt out here, he done took Rashida through there. And she had the audacity to defend an abuser. You know how dangerous that is to other women? That's dangerous. Super dangerous. That's why I tell you, I don't deal with chicks that ain't girls. Girls, baby, I'll see you with my good eye. Said 3+ and an added girl. That Adam's apple is thick. It's thicker, thicker, thicker. K Michelle said, tell your husband with the earrings. I said, hello, baby. Didn't she? You know what? If we're gonna do that with Lady Row After Dark, I'm gonna have to get all my little slides together and change them up, put a little music over the top of them so we can get this page monetized since we are over 500. I want to thank all of my new subscribers who have joined this channel. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate everyone for coming down here, joining my live. Y'all know yesterday I did not come live at all. I was doing my own thing because I was traveling. I baby took my car and got a little oil change. Me and that Sadis, we got on the road, honey. I let the sunroof back and I smooth sailing, cut that radio on, and I vibed out as I drove down the freeway, just listening and laughing reminiscing, talked to my sisters, talked to my kids, and had ourselves a good laugh. A good laugh. And got here, my niece met me here, and baby, we sat in this hotel room last night and we giggled something crazy. Then I fell asleep and woke up and she wasn't in the room, baby. She was there. And I said, "How much you win?" She wouldn't tell me, so I know she must have hit some money. And she'll be back in a few minutes. She had to go run some errands. But baby, we're gonna have ourselves another good time tonight. Again, if no one told you that they love you today, I love you. And there's a thing you can do about it. We're gonna be back down here a little bit later on. What time is it? It's 3:54. Give me a few minutes to get some notes together for Real Housewives of Atlanta. We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about the things. Again, that's my show. Like just like Married to Medicine, I could pretty much just throw it out there. But child, yes, yes, yes. You say enjoying the live because I got AC. You keep that AC working now. Quit playing with them fuse boxes. Sounds like my kind of niece, babe. That is my niece, my best buddy. We do a lot too. That's my travel buddy. If I can't get my husband on a plane past 3.5 hours, he's like, I'm not going there. I'm not going there. I take that back. He did go with me to London and we went to Paris. Um, but my husband does not, he's not gonna be on no plane for 24 hours. He's not gonna fly 16, get off and fly another 8. He's not gonna do that. But I will. I will do those. So she has to be my travel partner. And of course he has to work this week. So shoot. I didn't even tell him I was going on vacation. I just was like, I need to take some days off and relax. And I got plenty of hours at work. Give me a week off because I just want to go home and chill. That was my plan, sit at home and just do nothing. But child, we got some work done around that house before I left. And I was like, I'll be back. I'll be back later and I will finish doing whatever needs to be done because most of it's done. So that's it. Anyway, I will see y'all in the next one. Bye bye.